views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we have some events for you to get out and explore in today's Open Weekend Preview. After that, we'll learn about the Bronx Council of the Arts' latest Foreign Familiar exhibition, which explores the displacements and belongings of 7 Bronx visual and media artists. Then we'll sit down with playwright A.R. Garcia to discuss his play She Hates Coffee, a romantic comedy that touches on the complexities of friendships and relationships from the male perspective. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And finally, our Open Artist Spotlight features Bronx-born drummer Anthony Anderson, who will perform some live percussion for us at the end of the show. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Welcome to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Always inviting you to get social with us online. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So it's Friday, and we have some events for you and your entire family to get out and enjoy. So get your pen and paper out. It's now time for Open Weekend Preview. It's Black History Month, so why not start the weekend with the Heart of Harlem tour, a tour that covers the rich history of Harlem's spectacular architecture within 3 historic districts, including stops associated with iconic Harlem figures such as Malcolm X, Madam C.J. Walker, Marcus Garvey, James Baldwin, and Langston Hughes. The tour is taking place February 2nd from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., and for more information on the tour, you can visit meetup.com, exploring New York City neighborhoods/events. After a long work week, you can listen to the beautiful jazz sounds of California native Venetia Gould with a voice rooted in jazz and blues. She'll be performing with a quartet for Linda's Jazz Nights at an Anbil Book Cafe located at 445 West 238th Street, and that's happening on Wednesday, February 6th at 8 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. And for tickets, you can visit lindajazznights.com. It's also Restaurant Week, which means hundreds of New York's finest restaurants will roll out special prefix meals for guests. And, well, it's a great time to check out and explore a new restaurant and try different food. 2-course lunches will go for about $26, and while 3 courses will go for about $42. Restaurant Week ends February 8th, and for more on Restaurant Week, please visit nycgo.com, and be sure to get out this weekend, mi gente. That's right, and make sure you manja. All right, so the Boogie Down Cafe just recently held a celebration for a grand reopening of the shop's new location, and BronxNet cameras were there. Let's take a look.
The Bronx grind never stops. Grinding coffee beans, that is. Hunts Point's first specialty coffee shop, the Boogie Down Grind Cafe, held a celebration for the grand reopening of the original shop. The cafe's intention is to host a community space for locals, creatives, and caffeine lovers to enjoy the Bronx's hip-hop jazzy vibe. We spoke with the Boogie Down Grind Cafe owner, Majora Carter, who shared her enjoyment and reasoning behind the reopening.
We actually tripled our space. We decided to do that because we knew that people were leaving our community in order to have those kind of positive experiences, such as great coffee shops and great places to actually see art openings and karaoke and all those type of things. We also wanted to pay due respects to the roots of our borough as the birthplace of hip hop. So it actually is, as far as we know, the South Bronx is actually first hip hop themed coffee shop.
The cafe's co-owner, Soma Azul Brown, stressed the importance of the Boogie Down Grind Cafe, not only being a place to kick it and grab a quick bite to eat, but it also doubles as a safe haven for kids to occupy.
And so we just want the kids to know that there's a safe place in the community, a community that believes in them, that welcomes them with open arms. And yes, I do have my daughter here with me, Bella Victoria, and she's been able to see where we've been, you know, and I love having her walk on this journey with us because she's the next generation, and I hope that she's able to do bigger and better things.
The cafe uses specialty coffee from different parts of the world, which includes South America, the Caribbean, and Africa. Barista at the Boogie Down Grind Cafe, David Tyson, explains what a specialty coffee shop means to the Bronx.
It's difficult to find like a specialty coffee shop, especially here in the Bronx, where most of them is mostly in like northern part of Brooklyn and Manhattan, and that part is very competitive. Up here, you really don't find things like that. So it's a great way to introduce people, the people of the Bronx, what specialty coffee really is.
Reporting for BronxNet, Ashley Tiffany.
And thank you, Ashley Tiffany. You already know you're going to find La Café con Leche at the Boogie Down Grind. Woo. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll find out about an exhibition dealing with exile. Don't go anywhere.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. The Bronx is filled with many immigrants from different countries that have experienced transitioning to the United States in different ways. And Longwood Arts Gallery's newest exhibition, Foreign Familiar, focuses on 7 visual artists with different interpretations of current public discourses regarding immigrant refugee communities. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome Longwood Art Gallery manager Julia Pimes Mata and artist TJ Muhammad. Welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, Julia. Congratulations on your new position at Longwood Arts Gallery.
Yes, I'm really happy to be there.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see just different faces and just the rejuvenation of the art gallery, just in motion. And of course, the work that you guys do with regards to the community and giving a voice to those who are or could be voiceless, right? And let's just share a little bit about, I guess, the process behind this curation.
Definitely. So the exhibit was curated through an open call. So we did some outreach over the summer, asking for people to submit their work, Bronx artists to submit their work. And we were looking for pieces which touch upon articulating experience of immigration, movement, just really talking about what it means from a personal perspective or a historical perspective to be someone who might be called an immigrant. And so...
Well, are we all immigrants? I mean, really? Isn't that what America's built on?
Yeah, definitely. And I think what was really exciting about it was to see all the different variety of submissions that we got. All the staff at the Bronx Council on the Arts, we curated it collectively. And then from that, we picked a list of 7 really amazing artists who I'm happy are a part of the show right now.
So I know we're going to show some of the images, and so you did this open call, right? Kind of,
Yes.
right? And then you narrowed it down to 7. And so did you pick the artists based on cultures or different cultural backgrounds or different sections of the Bronx? How did you decide?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was more about what the work was saying. So something that we observed was that a lot of people were talking from a very personal perspective. So, making work about what was their personal experience of coming here to this country or talking about what that journey was like. And then we also had people who were talking from a more historical perspective. And so it was kind of a balance of how do we represent the ways in which this is an ongoing conversation, and it's not a particularly new one, but we want to speak to what the moment feels like currently.
And so TJ, you're one of the artists on display.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your work. Welcome, TJ.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
Ghana.
From Ghana.
Yeah, born in Kintampo. I grew up in Nima, which is just like the Bronx. The nickname for Nima is Boogie Down Nima.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're
It's
right at
kinda-
home.
Yeah, home in home.
Yeah, home and home. So how long have you been here in the Bronx?
Since 2003.
Since
No, 2013, sorry.
2013?
Yeah.
All right. And so what has your experience been?
First of all, New York City in general, it's very colorful, and in my work I try to express more colorful to spark the incitement within us and also to critique the current affairs that is ongoing with every community that I enter. So my experience was very flexible, and then I didn't see it very far from where I was coming from. Of course, home to me, it's not a physical space, it is a state of mind, and then, so connecting with the Bronx felt like I was sitting in my own couch in Nima.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you for saying that. That's lovely. That's lovely. So in this, I guess, this open call, coming in, did you feel like your voice was just a nice blend to the combination that was, I guess, put together? Because you can very easily feel like an outcast and or feel like part of the family. Which was it for you?
No, it was part of the family. And because you enter the exhibition, I felt I entered the exhibition through my work, which was also about home. And then walking in, it had objects that sparks those kind of imagination and experiences about where you would call a physical home.
So how many of your what is your work? Is it fine art or photography or sculptures?
Yeah, so for what I have there, it's a major in photography,
Okay.
but it is an installation kind of, because it starts with a wall, which the wall it's also very significant to the piece. So it's a wall that has photographs on it, and then it has like a box that has display of objects.
Nice. So it's interactional. It's interaction,
It's very
right?
interactive.
Interactional
Yeah.
art, right? And so how. That's wonderful. I'm getting a visual. I mean, we showed some of the images, and so who are these? Where are these? All of the artists from? I mean, we're meeting TJ, but there's 6 other artists that are on display. Where are they from?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's funny that you say part of the family too, because actually TJ's cousin is one of the artists, which we didn't know while curating it. But yeah, so artists from Ghana. We have artists from Ecuador, Puerto Rico, and also a couple of people who they're Black American, and so they're kind of talking more about like diaspora in that sense.
Right.
So it really reflects, different populations in the Bronx from what was submitted to us.
So before we go, I want to ask a question regarding our current climate in society, right? And let's just say somebody who's visiting or wants to visit this exhibit. What do you think that they're going to leave with? How do you feel it serves in kind of counteracting the division and the segregation that's being exercised publicly?
Yeah, I think one of the main things that we wanted to address was that right now there's a lot of ways in which people are being spoken for and not really being allowed to have a lot of nuance about what is your particular story. And so it's the hope of the exhibition that from people having the space to talk about what their personal experience is, we allow that type of nuance, and we allow a complexity of story that's not often, that's just not often given space for.
And so if you can answer that question as well, TJ, coming from being someone who's fairly new here. I mean, you're here 6 years now, because it's 2019.
Yeah.
And how that's been for you, because you came in during a certain era, right? We had a different president versus, the one that's in office now. It's an entirely different feeling.
It is. And sometimes, when I speak with my family, like in Ghana, it's there's some kind of like disappointment, if I should say, with what is happening. But because they're scared for us who are not like home, we are like outside. But we try to tell them that no, where we are is like home. We're being protected, and we also like where we are, and we enjoy it. So going back to your question, the experience that I feel that and I hope people would get from this show is that to be included and also to feel they are being like their voice are being amplified. Because all the artists that I saw on display are community engagement artists, and these are artists who work with the community and amplifies their voices.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you guys for the work that you're doing. And here's to all of us celebrating inclusion. Inclusion. And once again, Foreign Familiar will be up on display until February 27th at Longwood Arts Gallery, which is located at 450 Grand Concourse at Hostos College. And for more information, you can visit BronxArts.org. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll talk about a romantic comedy about coffee. Stay right there.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. My name is Harvey Lauer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Hello, welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, always inviting you to stay connected with us. That's right. Like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And don't forget, while you're there, follow me too at Rhina Valentin. So our next guest is an award-winning creative whose poetry ultimately led him to playwriting. Some of his work include The Broken Bachelor. St. Nicholas is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. And well, now his latest play is titled She Hates Coffee. Can't wait to hear what inspired that title. So joining us to tell us more, we welcome She Hates Coffee playwright, producer, and director, A.R. Garcia. Hello.
Hi.
And yeah, we're going to duke it out right now. Like, what? She hates coffee. You came to visit the Café con Leche.
I know, I'm sorry.
Titling a show, She Hates Coffee. Really?
Really?
¿Y tú eres dominicano?
Claro.
¿Cómo que she hates coffee?
You gotta come watch the show.
That's a good plug. That's a
Come
good
watch
plug.
the show.
Bueno, welcome, AR.
Gracias,
You know,
thank
of course,
you.
I'm teasing you, but not.
I know.
And congratulations on all you've accomplished. You know, I kind of like sped through the Amazon Prime show.
Yes.
It's a film, St. Nicholas. Congratulations on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you
And that's
so much.
wonderful because that was originally a play, right?
Yes,
That was the name of the play?
The name of the play was I Love Them All.
I Love Them All, and then you were able to.
Right. It was a one-man show that I did at the One Festival.
Yeah.
And I won the festival
I
with
think
that
that's
show.
the one I met you at, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And my goal was to make the play a full ensemble, and that never happened. There was a producer at the reading, and he was like, "You want to make this a film?"
Yeah.
I was just, yeah, sure.
Love it. And so you made it into a screenplay.
Yeah. So
And now it's on Amazon Prime for you guys to see for yourself. So make sure to check it out, especially if you're a Prime member. I am. I'm going to check it out. I was all excited when I read that. I was like, yes, go AR. But now you have this play, She Hates Coffee. I know you had a run recently, and now it's coming up again. So let's talk a little bit about that play.
Yeah, we just were in New Jersey, and now we're heading to Brooklyn, and we're stepping out on faith on a 20-city tour.
20-city tour, nice.
So we're just hitting one city at a time and trying to, get this play out. And it's a beautiful story about the human condition, and it's just my way of trying to show and kind of dissipate the myth that people have on men and how they deal and feel about relationships and love and pain and how they express it or the lack thereof. So it's a story about a young man that gets left at the altar and makes poor choices in relationships, and how he is on this journey to kind of find the right person for him, and how he deals with the pain of being heartbroken, and how he talks about it with his boys, and trying to run a business, and trying to figure out what love and relationships are all about for him.
Oh my gosh, are you seriously telling me you wrote a play about a man who's in touch with his feelings?
Kind of.
I mean, not that they're not. I'm just saying in expressing it, because I just find like the male characteristic is always to like suppress whatever they're really feeling. So it's good
Right. Well,
that you're tapping into that.
Well, that was the thing for me, because as a Latino, what I realize is that you're conditioned from a very young age to repress any feeling, especially in regards to pain or being hurt. I was just talking about this the other day, and you're a little kid, and you stub your toe or whatever, and you want to cry, and they tell you, no llores, don't cry. And you're conditioned from a very young age as a man, especially in cultures like ours, to repress when you get hurt and when you get pain, and that it's not okay for you to talk about it. It's not okay for you to express it. It's not okay for you to show it to the world. And so I wanted to break that myth that men actually do talk about their pain, and that they actually do talk about their relationships, and that they do talk about love and how it affects them and how they feel about it.
So that's great. So we're breaking the myth of men repressing their feelings. That's beautiful. Now let's talk about this other myth that's related to the title, right? I'm a little stuck on the title being She Hates Coffee. I'm like, but if it's a story about a man, why did you entitle it She Hates Coffee?
That's always the question. So I can't fully tell you why it's called She Hates Coffee. You have to come February 8th through the 10th for that.
That's the
hook.
That's the hook.
But I can give you a couple of things. I can give you a couple of hints. The entire play takes place in his cafe. He is a young Latino business owner. That's another thing that I wanted to do through my work and through my vision. It wasn't just to get my art out, but to push brown and black people forward in theater. As you know, Latinos are the least represented in theater, and I also wanted to show.
I just want to just to go with you, right? And I want to make sure that they understand what you're saying is that you basically wrote this character in an empowered position of being a business owner.
Right, because we're always represented in a way that's impacting negatively, and so all of my characters in this play are of positive influence or are doing something with their lives. So the lead, he's a successful business owner. He's young, he's Latino, and he's successful. And he's trying to figure things out. And so so what I can tell you is that he owns a cafe.
Right. I almost got it. I almost got it. He was like, she hates, I'm like, all right, fine.
He owns a cafe, and what I can tell you is that men often identify themselves with what they do. So keep that in mind. I can tell you that I give you a very
Men
surface...
often identify themselves with what they do.
With what they do.
So they inherit their occupation as their identity, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, kind of. That is part of who they are.
Right. So like if somebody says, oh, what do you do? They automatically...
Right. Men, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer,
right.
I'm a business owner,
right.
So, he owns a cafe.
Right.
So what I can tell you is that when you hear the reason for She Hates Coffee in the show, don't stop there. Dig a little further.
Okay. All right.
Because it's a metaphor.
Okay. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Well, you're doing great work. I mean, it's wonderful. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, and I'm happy to have you here at the top of the year, representing us, Latinos, in a positive light. And so before we go, we got to make sure we share with everyone who's in the cast and where it's going to be playing, how long it's going to be playing, and of course, if they can't see this round, where else they're going to be able to see it.
Sure.
Because you said you're doing one city at a time, right?
Yeah. And so we're at the Cumble Theater at Long Island University. We're running February 8th through the 10th. And you can get all the information on shehatescoffee.com. And, we're going to New York, we're going to Atlanta, we're going to Chicago, we're going to Detroit, we're going to Cali. We're going to a bunch of places where we hope to really impact and touch people with a story. The story is filled with a lot of the human condition when it comes to pain and love, but it's so funny. And so it brings a little levity to a lot of things that cause a lot of people pain.
Yeah, well, right now we need it. We need to be together and hold each other and hold space for each other. Absolutely. And just come from this place of humanity. Because at this point, if we don't do it for each other, it's all going to head in the other direction. And I'm speaking, of course, from a spiritual perspective. I always tend to go there in just dealing with the invisible substances.
In this climate, you have to.
Yes, and so it sounds to me like you're just opening up another box that needs to be tapped in so that we can just clean up the space and just be equal, right? Because it sounds like you're coming from a place of equality from a male's perspective.
Well, that's all I want to do is show that we make poor choices, but at the same time we also get hurt, and we operate sometimes from a place of hurt, but without removing any accountability from whatever our actions are. Just exposing that we are human and that we don't have ice cold water running through our veins that we feel, and that we want to share and express that.
Lovely. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming and showing the sensitive side of men.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's up. Everybody needs to do that work as human beings.
Yes.
All right, thank you. A.R. Garcia, mi gente. I'm going to say the title again, even though I don't want to. She hates coffee. We know we're not talking about me. But the show itself, She Hates Coffee, is going to be performed on February 8th, and that's from February 8th through the 10th. That is at Cumble Theater, which is located at 1 University Plaza in Brooklyn. And for tickets, you can visit cumbletheater.org. And for more on She Hates Coffee, you can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, so we do have to take a quick break, but there's more open when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh, no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
No.
As a special treat in honor of Super Bowl 53 this Sunday in Atlanta, today I'll give you my top 10 plays in Super Bowl history, along with my prediction for the big game. Yes, we'll be there. Coming in at number 10, a Heisman winner who will forever live in Super Bowl lore. In the third quarter of the Green Bay Packers matchup with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 31, Patriots kicker Adam Vinatieri put one through the uprights, making the score 27-21 in favor of the Packers. But kicking off after the score, the ball went into the hands of Desmond Howard at the 1-yard line. He took it all the way back, going 99 yards on the return and scoring the touchdown that put a finishing touch on the Packers' victory. Howard was MVP of that game. At number 9, with just over 3 minutes remaining in the Super Bowl matchup between the Saints and the Colts, Peyton Manning found his team trailing by a touchdown. Most people put their money on Manning coming up with a big play to tie the game, but it wasn't meant to be. Tracy Porter intercepted Manning's pass on 3rd and 5 from the Saints' 31-yard line and ran all the way back for the clinching touchdown. That was Super Bowl 44, and our BronxNet cameras had you covered. That was my first Super Bowl. I had to include it on the list, of course. In the 8th spot, with under 2 minutes remaining and the Rams having just scored on the touchdown from Isaac Bruce, the Titans had one more good drive in them. Starting from their own 12-yard line, Steve McNair moved the ball downfield and set up a 1st and 10 from the Rams' 10-yard line. The problem, they only had 5 seconds on the clock and no timeouts. McNair hit wide receiver Kevin Dyson on a slant, but Rams defender Mike Jones grabbed and tackled Dyson. Dyson reached his arm out as far as he could, ending up 1 yard short of the end zone as the clock ran out. Super Bowl 34 was a classic. At number 7, with just a few minutes left in the game, the New York Giants trailed the New England Patriots by a score of 17-15. Eli Manning started with the ball deep in his own territory, and he needed a long drive to steal the game away. On the first play, Manning put one up deep down the sidelines, which seemed out of reach for wide receiver Mario Manningham. But upon official review, Manningham caught the ball, got both feet down, and controlled the possession all the way to the ground for a 38-yard reception. That moved the Giants up the field, and they eventually scored to win the game. Super Bowl 46 is still my favorite. Our BronxNet cameras had you covered in Indy and even back home in New York, where we got to celebrate with Big Blue on the floats down the Canyon of Heroes. In the 6th spot, how about the Seattle Seahawks? The Seahawks were set up with a perfect chance to score and win the game. It was 2nd and 1 and 1 yard from the goal line. 26 seconds remained in the game, and the Seahawks were down 28-24. It needed a touchdown to win rather than hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. He had 102 rushing yards on 24 carries. Seattle opted to pass, and New England's Malcolm Butler famously intercepted quarterback Russell Wilson. Tom Brady was MVP of Super Bowl 49, by the way. Number 5, Adam Vinatieri had better moments in Super Bowl history with the game tied between the St. Louis Rams and New England Patriots. Brady took his team down the field in under a minute, but with just seconds remaining, the Pats were forced to try and win it with a 48-yard field goal. Enter Vinatieri and his ice-filled veins. The kicker put the ball through the uprights, clinching the Patriots' first Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl 36, 2002. At number 4, Super Bowl 23 made Joe Montana a legend. The San Francisco 49ers quarterback put together a legendary final drive against the Cincinnati Bengals, starting with over 2.5 minutes remaining and trailing Cincinnati 16-13. Montana hit wide receiver Jerry Rice several times on his way down the field. Then, from the 10-yard line with just seconds remaining, Montana threw the game-winning touchdown pass to wide receiver John Taylor with just 34 seconds left on the clock. The 49ers won the game 2016. The 3rd spot goes to the New York Giants thanks to a Bills kicker. The Buffalo Bills take the ball with their at their 10 with 2:16 remaining, trailing 2019, getting 33 yards from Thurman Thomas, who is deserving of the game's MVP with 190 total yards and a touchdown. The Bills move to just inside the Giants' 30 with 8 seconds left. The Bills, despite having enough time, opt against a short sideline play to get the ball closer and trot out kicker Scott Norwood. Norwood swings his leg through the ball, but the 47-yard kick is slightly off to the right, handing the Giants the title. That was 1991. Coming in at number 2, Joe Namath guarantees victory. Broadway Joe, days after brashly guaranteeing that victory over the 18-point favorite NFC champion Colts, triumphantly trots off the Orange Bowl field, wagging his index finger. Namath's consistent, if unspectacular performance, 17 for 28 for 206 yards, combined with Matt Snell's 161 total yards and a touchdown run, stuns the establishment and legitimizes the Super Bowl and the upcoming merger of the adolescent AFL with the long-standing NFL. And of course, at number 1 on my top 10 plays in Super Bowl history, the immaculate reception that broke perfection. Trailing in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots 14-10, the Giants and Eli Manning had just over a minute to put a touchdown on the board or they'd lose the game. On 3rd and 5 from their own 44-yard line, Manning faced a near sack, but he scrambled out of the way of 2 Patriots defenders and threw a deep ball downfield. David Tyree trapped the ball against his helmet as he brought it down. This set up the game-winning score just a few plays later. The final 17-14, an amazing score that I had predicted right here on BronxNet. That's my list. What is yours? And speaking of amazing predictions, we hit the C-list for my thoughts on Super Bowl 53. For this commentary, I have decided to begin with the 2 most important players in the game on each side of the ball. We'll start with the LA Rams. That honor goes to defensive tackle Aaron Donald. Donald is football's greatest game wrecker. Most coaches believe that to beat Tom Brady, you must move him off the spot. Donald might be the only NFL defender who can do that even against New England's quick strike passing game. If the Rams can somehow pull this off, don't be surprised if Donald is your most valuable player. On the flip side, Tom Brady. We hear about Brady's leadership, which is undoubtedly at the forefront of his late career dominance. But what's so often overlooked is Brady's throwing. Thanks to highly refined mechanics, he still delivers a quality ball, especially between the field numbers. And his precision accuracy is off the charts. Brady in this 2014-18 Patriots dynasty is not just better mentally than he was in the 01-04 dynasty. He's also better physically. The Patriots dynasty started with Bill Belichick stymieing a juggernaut Rams offense, the 2001 The Greatest Show on Turf. 18 years later, Belichick faces another prolific Rams offense led by young architect Sean McVay, just 33 years old last week. The second-year head coach's system is defined by condensed formations. The Rams don't have wide receivers so much as they have tight receivers with Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, and Josh Reynolds almost always aligning just a few yards outside the offensive tackles. Should be a goodie. The Pats advanced to their 11th Super Bowl in franchise history, the 9th of the Belichick era, and 3rd consecutive since the 2016 season. New England joins Buffalo and Miami as the only teams to reach 3 straight Super Bowls. New England also has a chance to tie the Pittsburgh Steelers with a 6th Super Bowl, most in NFL history. In addition, a win in Super Bowl 53 will break a tie with Pittsburgh and give the Patriots the most postseason victories of all time with 37. The Patriots will face the Rams in a rematch of that aforementioned classic 17 years to the day after New England defeated the then St. Louis Rams with a field goal as time expired, giving the Patriots their first Super Bowl victory in franchise history. My prediction, well, since the Super Bowl loves to repeat itself, why not repeat the score too? I'll take the Pats 20-17. And I think Brady does the unthinkable. He wins the MVP again and retires, leaving the game as he entered it, a champion. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Hey, welcome back to Open. Our next guest is a talented musician from the Bronx, known as the air drumming dude, that's right, from those in the Bronx community. He was taught to play the drums by his late father, who now serves as inspiration for his music. He's one of 19 siblings, and he is determined to show his daddy up. Having performed in many outlets such as the Bronx Museum of the Arts, Bronx Music Heritage Center, the Bronx Market, and right here on our open stage this exact time last year, please welcome Anthony Anderson. Hello and welcome back.
Thank you, Rhina.
Bravo
Thank
to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm grateful. I'm humbled to even be here again. It's an amazing experience and journey that since we've last connected, but for the most part, I'm just so overwhelmed. I don't even know.
Oh my
God. I don't even know.
I am so excited, and I'm especially excited to be of service, right?
Yeah.
But to see how you just like took off from the time we had you on the show has been so fulfilling to me to just watch you, because it's kind of like a tricky thing being a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Because drumming usually means you're backing up someone, and you've been able to somehow just move in this form just as a solo, as a solo artist. So let's talk about that.
Honestly, it was a rough challenge for me, coming from a 4-year band 4 years that I've dedicated my entire life to, and to leave that, but to also know what I'm worth, what I'm really wanting to go for. So if it wasn't the passion, it was the dedication. It was something that was driving me every day to wake up and not only wanting to play, but just the inspiration that was around me. If it wasn't from people, if it wasn't from outlets or certain developments, but also just knowing what I'm worth. So I had to just really just take that on and go full force. And what a better way to just start within the Bronx.
It's lovely. It's been lovely. I can't express it. I can't stress it enough. It has been really lovely watching you.
Thank you.
And also just because in the way you drum also it's very clear that it is just an extension of who you are.
Yeah.
It's not just sound. It's like your voice, and you can feel your soul through it. Which you guys are going to get a taste of that a little later. So you got to stay right there. And so. What has that been for you in the embrace that the Bronx has taken in just putting you up? I mean, I've watched you just be performing at all these amazing events that have popped up and have made like a real a staple for the Bronx. Like the Bronx night market was a big one.
Honestly, that was a great experience. The energy from everyone that was just watching me perform. I've let alone not even experienced that for myself. I've experienced it within bands and groups that I've been in, but to experience it and have that energy come to me, and it was so worth it. And to do it for the second time around, and then also have opportunities to perform at different places within the Bronx. If it wasn't for Ampanology, it was Bistro, it was the Bronx Brewery. It was so many different places within the Bronx that really just gave me a platform to just really just show my talent.
It's lovely. And so where do you see yourself going from here on this quest? Because it's a very interesting quest.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, is it that you're going to go into studio and you're just going to really highlight the drums as being at the forefront?
Right.
What is your goal?
My goal mainly is to continue performing, but also tour. I have opportunities to go overseas, so I'm really awesome. It's really awesome to really have that opportunity, but it's in the works, so be prepared for that.
It's always good to travel. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Then we'll have you on next year. You can be like, oh, I was in Paris, I was here. I don't know where you're going yet, but I'm putting Paris in the space because that's where I want to go this year.
Got
Go
you.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, it's just so much, like if it's just collaborating and working with different talented musicians or artists to just elevate, It's all about elevating from here and just taking that energy, keep going, keep having the passion that I live for. This is something that I don't see myself giving up. I see myself playing drums when I'm 50, 60, maybe even 80, But it's all about just having that will, the drive, and the passion to just keep going.
Awesome. And as you keep going, what do you have in store for right here on the local level? What kind of performances you got coming up?
For most part, I have a couple of shows lined up for this weekend, and then more that's in the works for the upcoming months. But for the most part, it's really just connecting and branching out, going in either different boroughs or remaining here in the Bronx, and then just going to different locations just to embrace people.
So how do people experience you if they're not visiting you at a live performance?
Mainly social.
Social media?
Social media, I tend to just continue to just stay active on that. And from that platform has just really given me so many different opportunities that I'm really humbled and blessed with. And from there, it's really gonna just elevate from there. I have no idea, but as long as I keep going, I know there's something there for me.
Oh my gosh, I just got this visual and I can't wait to see you on the top of a mountain with all your drums just jamming up there with the sky as your background and the clouds, like right there, and the clouds like there chilling with you.
That would be something to wake up to and just be able to hop on the drums and just look around in the scenery. It's amazing.
I
Thank
saw
you.
it. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
see it in truth. Woo! All right, awesome. Well, you guys are going to get to experience him, so you need to stay right there. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, Anthony Anderson, he's going to perform a piece for us. So, like I said, you don't want to go anywhere. Stay right there.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. To perform a cover from French Montana, No Stylist, please welcome Anthony Anderson. information on Anthony Anderson, be sure to check him out on Instagram at Anthony.Anderson.drums. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the Recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Anthony, play us out.